So today what we're going to do is show you how to create an exploding barrel where you shoot it once and it kind of ticks down, and then when it runs out of health it explodes and sends a force to the other barrels which causes it to tick down, and once those hit points hit zero, boom, it explodes again. First thing we want to do is hop on over to filebase.gamedevhq.com. We have sterile barrels that you can download. Go ahead and grab one of those plus the flame and explosions if you got them. Let's drop the barrel into the scene, and let's go ahead and add a box collider and our hit point script, which we've done in prior tutorials. And we just want to make sure that when we shoot this, it sends a message that says, "I've been shot." Next thing we also want to do is make sure we have two of these items, two functions, one if I'm lit and one if I'm exploding. So let's go ahead and create the explosion first. We're going to go ahead and grab the explosion particle and set it as a child. And when we explode, we're going to just play that explosion. We also want to turn off the mesh renderer so that when it does explode, we don't see it anymore. The next thing we want to do is make sure we add that sound effect and the camera shake so that it could explode. We do these through our audio manager and the player manager as well. And then when we do explode, we want to destroy this game object eventually. So let's go ahead and invoke this so that after, let's say, 7 seconds, it removes itself from the scene. And let's check that out and make sure that all works. Of course, the mesh renderer, you got to make sure that on the start you get the component. Nothing happened, and then now we shot it once and twice, hit zero, and it exploded. Great. Next thing we want to do is set this up so that it turns this flame on as it is kind of barrel is lit and it's going down. So when the barrel is lit, let's go ahead and make the flame a child of the game object, and we're just going to set the game object to true. We also want to put some audio in here. So I found like a crackling audio soundtrack of fire, and I attached an audio source to my flame. So whenever it's true, then the flame turns on and I can hear it crackling as it's going on. Next thing is that when I do destroy or explode it, I want to make sure I set the set active for the flame is off. And now I want to create an IE numerator, basically a countdown. So I'm going to get the hit point system. And as it's been lit, it's going to take damage to the hit points, 4 damage for every second. So we need to create an IE numerator called decrease health. And every second it's going to decrease 4 seconds, and we just need to do a bull check on it to make sure that if the timer is set to true, then we run the timer, else we don't run the timer. We run the timer when it is set to being lit, and we turn it off when the explosion happens. So now when I shoot it, I start to build a timer, and at the end of the timer, it runs the explosion function. Now, all I need to do is create a cube and make sure I add on a rigid body to it. And anything that has a rigid body component will now get blasted away. So we created an explosion force object in the past. We're just going to drop that explosion force object in here and turn it to true when there is an explosion. So when I shoot and it explodes, it's actually going to knock that cube away. And you could probably check out the explosion force in the RPG tutorial. There you go, you see the cube flying. Now if you actually want to send damage to any of these other objects, you just got to make sure that it has a hit point component attached to it, as well as a rigid body, and now we can create these incredible chain length events. Perfect. New to coding? Feel like those tutorials are speaking an alien language? Yeah, we've been there. That's why we built GameDevHQ, a place where you can actually learn by building. Our monthly membership gives you access to 900 plus hours of hands-on training from 2D to 3D to VR, AR, first-person, and third-person games. Plus, you'll get our 12,000 game asset library, daily check-ins, one-on-one tech support, and live workshops 6 days a week where we'll cover the stuff that you want to learn. We're not just developers, we're gamers too, and we love helping people like you turn that first line of code into something awesome. Come hang out with us and let's build something together. Check us out at GameDevHQ.com.